And I used to always think, I still think, to be very honest, कि photography तो हमारा शौक है अजी भी. It's like a hobby, and why are people paying me to do what I like to do? Like, are you mad or what? I am coming because I'm enjoying this and you're paying me. Don't tell people this, but I still feel that कि boss, why are people paying me to do what I like to do, right?
Yeah.
So, but you're lucky if you get paid to do what you want to do. એટલે એ વખતે this feeling used to come, and I started doing good work. And again my third dream was for any photographers to get into National Geographic, कि एक बार तो जोड़ाऊँ सर. So I was shooting a big assignment in Nepal for something, and the moment I entered into India, there was a series of missed calls. I called up one of the numbers. They said, okay, I'm calling from some production agency and National Geographic is doing a documentary on 8 Indian photographers, and would you be wanting to be one of them? And I said, why would National Geographic call me? Like, I'm a nobody in photography. I said, yeah, why not?
Sure.
પણ મહિનો આવવું પડશે તમારે શ્રીલંકા. I said, okay. એટલે પાછા આવીને my father had a fracture at that time. And I said, boss, this is a big thing because who will take care of the business? But he again was the hero of my life. So he said, boss, you go, we'll take care of it. 25 days, even my wife is one of the major heroes of my life. કારણ કે obviously to let you go off કે જા ભાઈ 2 મહિના 1.5 મહિનો જે કરવું એ કર એવું છે, right? અઘરું છે.
બહુ અઘરું છે.
તો basically then I went, and there were 8 Indian photographers. I was the 8th guy, and I was basically very nervous and scared કે boss, National Geographic માં 7 લોકો છે, આપણે તો કોઈ જ નથી યાર. Where will we go? પછી they then told us there that this is a reality show. I didn't know that. And they said you have to compete with each other every day, and every day one of you will be eliminated, or every 2-3 days. And the judges were like Amy Bitale and people like them from National Geographic. એટલે કીધું કંઈ વાંધો નહીં, એક રાઉન્ડ થઈ ગયું બોસ, કંઈ વાંધો, આપણે નાઇટ જીઓ પર આવી તો ગયા. And I won the first round. I stood second, the third round, fourth round, and till the 7th, there were 10 episodes. So out of 9, I actually stood first in 5. So the confidence really boosted ke boss હવે તો basically now you feel more confident at that level you're performing. And then unfortunately the final round, it was very close. I stood second, but still happy that I could make it there. And then when I came back, I got a call from United Nations straight away that UNICEF is looking for photographers. We saw your profile. Why don't you do something for us? I said, but I can shoot only on weekends. ધંધો તો કરવાનો જ હતો આપણે, એવું છે, because that is the only, and I was married by that time. I had a daughter, so you had to take care of them, school આ તે બધું, everything. So but I joined them, and they were okay that I shot only 4-5 days a month on a freelance basis, but I started working with them. So there were a lot of such incidences which were maybe indirectly pushing me towards photography. And then Raghu one day introduced me to Mr. B.V. Doshi. Honestly, I didn't know much about him because I was never interested in architectural photography. So we were sitting in Ahmedabad Gufa, and I was assisting Raghu on a book on Doshi. So after the book, we were having coffee, and Doshi was sitting, and he said कि मेरी buildings किसी ने shoot नहीं की है. तो रघुराय said, इसको ले लो तुम, ये तुम्हारा काम कर देगा. तो I said, हाँ कर लेंगे. Like, આટલું તો કર્યું, હવે નાઇટ જોઈએ થઈ ગયું તો આમાં શું છે? And then when I went back and I spoke to a few friends, I realized what Mr. Doshi was. Right? So I called him up on the next day, कि Doshi kaka, कि you're a great, sweet person, but I have never shot architecture, and I can't shoot for the Amitabh Bachchan of architecture as the first assignment, right?
Yeah.
I'll look like a fool. He said, ना तू आए, रघु ने तेरा नाम दिया, तू आ. I went there. And when I was there, his assistant looked at me and said कि आप ट्राइपॉड नहीं लाए? मेरे को ट्राइपॉड नहीं શું જરૂર છે? પછી ખબર પડી આર્કિટેક્ચરમાં તો ટ્રાઇપોડની જરૂર પડે એવું છે, કારણ કે શૂટિંગ એ લો લાઇટ. એટલે દોશી કાકા કે તારે જેમ કરવું તું કર, we trust you because Raghu has recommended you. And I shot the office like I would shoot any other project. So that whole flavor of learning from a person who's not from architecture and coming from the learnings that I had from Fauzan, who was a journalist. So all those learnings, because you are shooting, whenever you're shooting on street, you are learning to react to things. So all those learnings we brought about in the first shoot that I ever did for architecture was Doshi's office, Sangat, which is like a world-renowned structure. And we shot the way people were working there, no typical architectural shots. But when Doshi saw it, he really liked it. So he said, "Why don't you shoot all my buildings?" So I said, "I'll do it if you let me photograph you in all the buildings." So my greed was to do book on him. Not a book on his buildings, honestly, at that point of time.
When did that idea come from?
That was immediately after the first meeting, because I still shoot projects which are very long term, which are compiled into a book. I still feel that unless you're doing book or you're doing collating images or videos for a purpose, it stands no value. A single image stands no value unless it's put somewhere in a sequence or a logic. He started laughing कि ठीक है આપણે buildings में फरता है ત્યારે થોડા ફોટા તું લે છે. So I didn't shoot anybody else for architecture except him for at least 4 years. But we used to travel to all buildings together, and we spent days together. And whenever Raghu came, he used to come home. They used to sit at home, and I used to listen to the conversations, which changed my outlook towards architecture, obviously, because the way he would give you briefs is like Bhagwanti direct messages out of you. So I had two mentors, like one was Raghu Rai and one was Doshi.
And
like I can't
stalwarts.
find two of the biggest people who have been totally lucky. They were in my life. Raghu Rai still is my mentor, and they used to give me a lot of life learning. અને જ્યારે ઘરે હોય ને ત્યારે પપ્પાને મજાક में કે आपके लड़के को लकड़ा मत बेचने दो, उसको બહાર निकालो इसमें से. પણ દોશી કાકાને કાયમ કહું દોશી કે મારે આર્કિટેક્ચર નથી કરવું, કારણ કે કેમ મેં કીધું છે ને પ્લાયવુડ વેચવા જાઉં તો આર્કિટેક્ટ કલાક બહાર બેસાડી રાખે તો એ મળતા નથી. સો આઈ યુઝ ટુ હેટ આર્કિટેક્ટ્સ કે આ બહુ ઈગોવાળા લોકો છે કે બહાર બેસાડી રાખે. મેં હું આર્કિટેક્ચર તો નહીં જ કરું. સો then that work came together, and we did our first show in National Gallery of Modern Art, which is the biggest gallery in the country. And then that show went to Shanghai Power Station of Art. Tyathi Vitra Design Museum, which is again the biggest design museum in the world, hired me and also loaned some of my work for exhibiting in Vitra. So all those signs were coming that I had to now become more serious in photography, although I was more serious. But by that time, suddenly my father passed away.